is a process of becoming, a combination of states that we have to go through. Hi everyone, and welcome back. So what does that mean, that life is a combination of states that we have to go through? It's trying to tell us that no matter what's happening right now, it's just a point in the map of your life. So there's no actual destination, I would say, when it comes to where you're supposed to go in life. There's this big map of your life, and you can go wherever you want to in that map. There's so many different pathways, there's so many different directions, but ultimately you're going to choose certain paths that are going to only allow you to experience certain things. And why not expose yourself or set yourself up to experience the best that you can out of the life that is your map? Marcus Aurelius says that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So, when you're going through a rough time in life, even if you are currently, the fact that you're going through that, that is a pivotal moment and point that is directing you to go in a certain direction. And how do you know what it means? Well, you won't initially. But over time, when you sit with that feeling, you're going to learn from it. And how you choose to respond is integral. Because if you choose to respond in a negative way, you're making a decision for the lesser version of yourself. If you choose to see it for what it is, understand that it's negative, understand that you don't like how you feel right now, but you still consistently choose after the fact to make positive changes and good decisions for yourself and everyone else regardless, eventually the pathway will reveal itself to you. Another popular book that I read is called Atomic Habits. So basically what this book teaches people is that they are, or you are rather, a culmination of the choices that you make. So every choice that you make, it stacks up, and over time it's stacking up, and the result ultimately is gonna be who you become. So think of it this way, and you can actually physically do this if you feel the need to do it, is just basically draw a line through a piece of paper, and you have two columns, right? One column is for the lesser version of yourself, and the other column is for the best version of yourself. And every choice that you make on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, a yearly basis, every single decision that you make is so important, because it's either going to be you making a decision that is for the lesser version of you or for the best version of yourself. And you really need to become clear with this so you know that you're not stacking up decisions on the wrong side of that table. Because then later on, it's going to bleed and be born into your life, and you're going to be like, how did I end up like this? But if you look back, all your choices stacked up, and that's where they were always going to take you. So this doesn't mean just randomly cutting out things from your life. Like if you're someone that smokes cigarettes, for example, I know that's a very difficult thing to quit. Well, I don't actually know because I don't smoke cigarettes, but from experiences with other people, I know that that's a very difficult habit to quit. But over time, you can quit, or you can significantly reduce the intake of tobacco into your system, or you could alternatively just find a more healthier means to quench the craving of tobacco. It's possible to do. So over time, you need to look at the choices that you're making on both sides of the table. And you need to basically see what on which side is stacking up more. Is it the side that's for the lesser version of you, or is it the side that is for the best version of yourself? And the side that is for the lesser version of you should be minimal to zero. And the side that is for the best version of yourself should have the majority of choices and decisions that you're constantly taking. This basically bleeds into the quote by Aristotle that says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." So, who you become is shaped by your daily choices more than your occasional inspirations. So, you can say flowery things like, one day I'm going to do this, or one day I'm going to do that. And that's nice to have in your head. But what actual physical steps have you taken, if any at all, to further that and to bring that more closer into reality for yourself? So that's basically what it comes down to. The choices that we make on a daily basis, they shape who we ultimately become. And it's also so important to remember that nobody's a finished project. So stop treating people like they're finished projects, like they're supposed to be this type of person by this age, or they're supposed to have all of these achievements, qualifications, materialistic things by a certain time period, because nobody is a finished project. We're all a continuous work in progress, all of us. And it's important to see yourself that way, because when you see yourself that way, every time you level up and every time you get better, every time your mindset changes, every time you evolve as a person, past your flaws, past your mistakes, because you'll always have these things coming up that you need to learn about and grow from. And in the moment, it can feel really annoying and really, dull. Like you don't want to be in that phase of your life. You want to just be out of it into the next better state. But that bad, annoying, shitty phase is what's going to push you into the better phase of your life that you want to get into. So setbacks and struggles should actually inspire you. They should make you feel great about yourself, because only you know your true potential that lives within your soul. Only you know your true potential. Somebody else is not going to come along and say, hey, well, did you know you were actually able to do this, this, and that if you just did that and that, whatever it may be? Like, no one's gonna come up to you and tell you that. Maybe some people will do that, and you're very lucky if you have someone in your life that is going to come forth and show you your potential or highlight it for you. But most of the time, everyone's in their own head. Everyone's concerned about their own lives. Everyone's concerned about becoming better for themselves, for their families, for the lives that they want to live. So no one actually cares what you do to get there. And you're going to have to find that path on your own and make it become possible for yourself. What tiny changes can you make today in your life that would pivot the direction that you're going in, or that would change the direction that you're going in, or that would be a vote for the column, the side of the column that is for the best version of yourself? What choices can you do today, or even tomorrow, that is going to change that pathway? And really get clear on it, and eventually you'll be able to see it and you will be able to take action on it. But that's only going to become clear to you over time if you're consistently making decisions that are in alignment with the best version of yourself, rather than consistently making decisions that are misaligned and for the lesser version of yourself. And also, you'll be able to know this inside of your soul. And sometimes we'll be making decisions that are for the best version of ourselves. But again, because of subconscious programming and things like that, we feel so uncomfortable taking action doing those things that we somehow eventually end up convincing ourselves that we shouldn't have done that, or this is not where I'm supposed to be, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, this relationship is bad for me. We'll just end up sabotaging ourselves because we're so uncomfortable. But the discomfort is the thing that's going to pivot you and guide you to make the right choice. So sit in the discomfort and be okay with the discomfort sometimes. Allow it to tell you what it needs to for a while. And you can't just keep distracting yourself and running away from the discomfort, because then you're not going to be able to know what you really need to do. your greatest resource is your inner potential, not your circumstances. So, really get clear about what that means for you. In your mind's eye, I'm sure you're able to see this idealized best version of yourself. So, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are and to live up to that potential that you see for yourself. And how else are you going to get there? If you're constantly just believing in the negative, or that it's not possible for you, or that um, things like that don't happen for you, you need to become someone that holds no resistance in terms of the identity you know to be true for yourself. So you need to get clear on what that means for you, who that is to you, and allow life to present you with what it does that will inevitably shape shape you in a way that leads you to becoming that person in any event. And how do you get there? You get there again by making decisions that are repeatedly in favor of the better version of yourself and being aware of it. It's just the simple things, how you perceive the world around you moment to moment has an impact on what you are attracting into your life, and has an impact on you really becoming the best version that you want for yourself. So you need to get clear on that, and you need to live in alignment with it. You need to basically reduce all resistance in your head, all mental resistance when it comes to that idea of you, because that idea is there for a reason and it is the real you. You just keep making decisions that sabotage that person, and you keep making decisions you keep making decisions in favor or in majority of the lesser version of yourself, and that's why you are still stuck there in every aspect. Once you slowly but surely start changing your perception, your mind, start calming your nervous system so that it's rooted in the truth as well of who you are, slowly but surely, you will eventually see how you evolve into that person that is ultimately the real version of you. But subconsciously, you've allowed so much of like noise to block out the signal of who you really are. And please remember that growth is not about becoming somebody new. Growth is not becoming someone else. Growth is about becoming more of who you already are. It's becoming your full self, basically, becoming more fully who you actually are. That is true growth and evolution. Every challenge, every mistake, every season of uncertainty is part of the unfolding process. So stop being so hard on yourself as well. Just breathe and trust in the knowing of who you actually are. Trust it. Why not trust it? And allow that mental resistance to just slowly dissolve. Don't even give it any regard, because that resistance that you're creating in your head is holding you back, and you need to find a way slowly over time, while you're making all these choices for the best version of yourself, you need to slowly let go of that mental resistance that you are not the person that you thought you would be, because you are that person. You're just allowed your subconscious to pivot in the negative way and see you as something less than that. And then again, your choices also are in favor of the lesser version. So how can you physically see, or how can anything come into contact with you spiritually or physically that is in alignment with the best version of yourself when you are not there at all, especially on a mental level? We are not defined by who we were yesterday. We are not defined even by how we feel today. So even if you feel awful today, who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't define who you actually are. And remember that. It doesn't mean just because you're having a bad time today that your life is over, or that you'll never get those goals, you'll never accomplish those things. It doesn't mean that. Who you are is who you are, and you know what that is deep down. We are continually becoming shaped by our choices, our courage, and our willingness to keep evolving. So don't cut yourself short and make those choices that sometimes you feel scared to, because you never know where it's going to lead you. And every new thing you do, every new task that you take on, every new challenge is going to teach you about yourself. And as long as it's in alignment with the best version of yourself and you becoming the best version of yourself, please do it. No matter how scared you are, just do it, because that's how your true potential can become fully actualized over time. And thank you so much for watching this whole video if you have. I really hope that you're able to let this like absorb into your subconscious, that no matter what it may be that you're going through, it does not define who you actually know yourself to be. And just allow that person to come into fruition and release all of that mental resistance. Just let it go. And thank you so much again for watching this video. Enjoy the rest of your night or your day, whatever it may be, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.